So after that, Yud Beis Amud Aleph and Nigmar Dina V'chulu. What's the connection to Nigmar Dina V'chulu? The Mishnah said, Nigmar Dina V'Kain Gadol, V'Kain Gadol, V'Eina Yoytzi Misham La'olam, right? Afilu Sava Yisroel Kiyoy Ben Tzruya Eina Yoytzi Misham. So the connection between this Gemara and the Mishnah really is because we're talking about Yoav ben Tzruya, and we're also talking about, it's also connected to Ari Miklat in general, because we're talking about the din of the Mizbeach being koila. This is not something we saw in this Gemara. It's based on a different sugi in a Gemara someplace else, where the pasuk says, Me'im Mizbechi tikochenu. Yeah, that the pasuk in Parashat Mishpatim says, right, that the Chiyaz is Ishal Re'eh Lahargoi Ba'orma, Me'im Mizbechi tikochenu lamos. If somebody is kill someone b'mezid, he's chayav misa, and even if he's on the mizbeach, so tikochena. So the Rosh and the Gemara, I think it's in Sanhedrin and other places as well, maybe says me'im mizbechi tikochena v'loy me'al mizbechi, only from next to the mizbeach, but not if someone's actually offering up karbanis on the mizbeach. At that point, you don't take him off. You let him finish the avodah, and then you take him to be to his death penalty. So Amr Yehuda Marav on this topic, shtei toyos ta yoyav ba'isasha. Two mistakes Yoav made at that time. What's Oisa Shah? Oisa Shah is when Shlomo HaMelech wanted to kill Yoav ben Tzruya. So Shmuel HaMelech found, Dovid HaMelech had instructed Shlomo HaMelech to kill Yoav. And Shlomo found a pretext. He found an excuse why to kill him. Because Yoav joined with the revolution against Shlomo from Adoniyahu, the brother of Shlomo HaMelech, who was trying to overthrow Shlomo.
Avner ben Tzruya, no? Yeah, Yoav was Dovid's general.
Here we're talking about Yoav ben Tzruya. Yoav was Dovid's general and a Chanami, but then when Dovid passed away, Dovid told Shlomo HaMelech that he should try and kill Yoav. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I can't remember the exact story now. Yoav had killed somebody, had killed Avner, and maybe two Chavre Yoav had killed from Dovid HaMelech. So Dovid HaMelech instructed Shlomo on his deathbed that you should kill Yoav ben Tzruya. And Shlomo found a pretext, found an excuse to kill Yoav when Yoav joined up with his enemy, with his brother Adoniyahu. So the pasuk says over there in the Lachim, I guess, the Chesiv says in pasuk, "Vayonos Yoav el oil Hashem yichaz bekarnes hamizbeach." In Torah Shalom, Shmuel ba ad Yoav ki Yoav not achra Adoniyahu, achra Avshalom lo nata. Vayonos Yoav el oil Hashem yachze bekarnes hamizbeach. He held in the corners of the mizbeach, the corners of the mizbeach. And he thought by that he would be save himself from the chi of misa of the melech. Shlomo HaMelech had instructed him to be killed. Yoav thought by holding on to the corners of his mizbeach he's going to be saved. So what's the mistake? Number one mistake is the din is that only the top of the mizbeach, only the gag, the roof of the mizbeach is koila. The pasuk says it said the drasha is that the ritzach is not can be koilet, the mizbeach can be koilet him al gagoy on the roof. Al mizbechi, which is the gag. But he who tafas bekarnoisav, that was one mistake. The second mistake is tasha ain't a koilet al mizbech beisay lam, but who tafas mizbech shal shila. The lashon mizbechi, my mizbech, implies that only the mizbech of the beisay lam, only the mizbech of the beis hamikdash is koilet. He was tafas the mizbech shal shila. Now the Rishonim Rashi points out that he has a different girsa. We'll see when we see Rashi inside. We'll see at length. But basically, the pashas can't be mizbech shal shila because mizbech shal shila wasn't around in the days of Shlomo HaMelech. Mizbech shal shila was already finished. So therefore, Rashi is goyres for who tapas mizbech shal bama. He was typhus in the mizbech of the bama that Dovid HaMelech erected. Abaya says the hanami mitata. Third mistake that Yoav made when running to holding on to the corners of the mizbech, the corners of the mizbech. Tasha eina koyet elokoyin v'avoda b'yadiv huzar. Another mistake was, says Abaya, that he argues with Yehuda Rabbi, says it was just two mistakes. Abaya says there's a third mistake. That he made a mistake because really it's only Koylet the Kohen who's involved in Avodah. He's a Zar, he was the Yisroel, and therefore the Mizbeach wasn't Koylet. Okay, so that's as far as Yoav ben Tzruya. Now the Gemara goes on to a similar discussion. Here's a little bit more Haggadah. It says when Mashiach will come, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to punish the sorry shel roimi. In other words, he's going to punish the goyim, but he starts off with the spiritual, the sar of roimi, with the spiritual malachim of the goyim, and later he kills the kings down here in Olam Hazeh. So Amri Shlakish says shalish toy is asid sorry shel roimi litais. since we're on the topic of three mistakes that Yoav made, and with regards to being koilet, with regards to running away and trying to be saved from Shlomo Melech, so we say similar sort of thing with regards to the Sari Shalomi, who's going to make three mistakes in trying to be saved from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who's trying to punish him. Also, Sari Shalomi, it says in the Pasuk, Mi zeh ba me Edoim, Chamutz begadim mi Botzra. Who is coming from Edoim? Chamutz begadim means soaked with his clothes are soaked with blood. Mi Botzra, from Botzra. So he ran to Botzra to get saved. So what's the mistake? Toya she'ena kilates ala Betzer. First mistake was he saw he knew that in the Chumash it says that Betzer Bamidbar is one of the Ari Mikvah. So he thought that Botzra, Betzer is all the same thing, right? So he ran to Botzra to get saved. His mistake was that only Betzer is Koila, is one of them. Who Goila the Botzra? He ran into exile to the city of Botzra. Toya she'ena kilates ala Shoigeg. You made a mistake. Another mistake was that the whole concept of Ir Mikvah was only for Shoigeg. Who made it? The Sari Shalomi was responsible for killing of Yidden throughout the generations. It was B'mezid. So it's not going to help. And finally, maybe most importantly, another mistake was that Ir Miklat, the whole concept of Ir Miklat is only for human being. He was a malach, and therefore the whole concept of Ir Miklat didn't apply. Okay, let's see Rashi on this piece. Rashi ta Yoav. In this drasha me'im mizbechi tikchen v'loy me'al mizbechi, he made a mistake. What was the mistake? According to Rashi, kisover dahainu me'al mizbechi. He thought that the karnis mizbech was considered me'al mizbechi. That's how Rashi explains. Rippa gives another pshat that he didn't have this drasha bechlau. It's not pshat that he knew the drasha me'im mizbechi tikchen v'loy me'al mizbechi, just that the karnis were included in the al mizbechi. He thought me'im mizbechi tikchen means if you're next to the mizbech, you can be taken, but if you're anywhere on the mizbech, doesn't matter where, so that's not included in me'im mizbechi. Either way, he made a mistake by holding the karnis in the mizbech. The second mistake was that it's only the mizbech beis olamim. They said mizbechi hamiyuchadli, and the third mizbech, the hutaf is the mizbech shal bama. Rashi is geiras, not like our Gemara says the hutaf is the mizbech shal shiloi. So Rashi explains also Dovid mizbech shal bama. That Dovid HaMelech made this bama. Bama already refers to any altar, any mizbech which wasn't in the Beis Hamikdash or the Mishkan. Also Dovid ifnei aron shaya ba'ila shenatli Dovid be'er Dovid. There was an aron which Dovid HaMelech made in the tent, which Dovid made in Ir Dovid. It says Yonas Yoav el Oil Hashem. It says in Pasuk Yoav ran to Oil Hashem. Umatzinu b'divrei Yom also Dovid mizbech lefanim. Dovid made a mizbech in front of this oil. The ef shalom mizbech shal shiloi shaya be made David Shlomo because who, meaning referring to Yoav ben Sri, was in the days of David the Shlomo, and in those days the mizbech wasn't in Shiloi anymore, it was in Givon. Some Takagor is Givon. The Ritva wants to explain that even the Girs of Mizbech Shal Shila could also be Mekayim it because Mizbech Shal Shila is a code word for any Mishkan. Shila is a code word for any Mishkan. The Mishkan was in Shila for many years, but really it's a code word for any type of Mishkan. Either way, it's only the Mizbech of the Beis Hamikdash which is Koilet, and he either ran to the Mizbech of Givoin or the Mizbech or the Bama that David made. Okay. Sorry, Shalomi says Rashi smile. The name of the Sari Shalomi is Smile. Sheyivrech leBotzra. He's going to run to Botzra. Shavitchila yifira mimenik shagir kate Shalomi lechare. Because Baruch will first punish the Malach when the time of Rome will come to be destroyed. The Yipkil Hashem al Tzava Amar and B'Mar and Ba'achar Kach al Malach Adam al. That's the passage. The passage is the first Hashem will punish the Tzva Amar and B'Mar and the legions of the sky, and afterwards on the kings of the earth which are on the ground. I mean, I don't really understand the whole idea of punishing Malachim. What's exactly going on over there? The Malach runs to Botzra. Chametz begadim midome shall smile. Even though the Malachim are not Basav Adam, so why are you calling him Chametz begadim? That the begadim were soaked in blood. The third talks in a language that we understand, that we relate to, so it talks about the begadim being soaked from the blood of Samuel, although obviously it's referring to Kadosh Baruch. It's referring to the Eibishter who's coming from Adam, soaked in the blood of killing Samuel, who was in Botzra. And why was he in Botzra? So we explain because he thought that he could run away, and it was one of the Ari Mikla, and he made these three mistakes, as mentioned above. Okay. Now the Gemara goes to a different topic, and back to really the Mishnah. The Mishnah said, "Kishem sha'ir kiletes." So the tchum is also koilet. Yeah, kach tchum koilet. It's not just the ir mikla, which is the goyal adam can run to, and be saved, but also the tchum. So Gemara Sakasha, meaning the 2,000 amas around the city. Fred the Gemara Kasher Ramina, we have a steer of a Yoshav Ba V'lo B'Tchuma. The pasuk says, the Brisa says that Pshat when the pasuk says the Yoshav Ba. That's looking in Vav in Torah Vav. Pasuk in Parshas Masay V'Tzila Edus Resebi Agolad. On the Shiva Seidad Imikata Shanas Shama. The Yoshav Ba Ad Meisa Kohen Gadol. He settles in it until the Kohen Gadol dies. Before it's an extra yitur over here. What's the Yoshav Ba? So the word Ba, it tells me Ba V'lo B'Tchuma that the Ritzach has to live in the city but not in the Tchum. Seems clear that the Tchum is not Koilet. Only the city itself. So it's a steer between the Mishnah which says that the Tchum is Koilet and the Brisa which says the Tchum is not Koilet. Amabai like Kasha, it's not difficult. You've got to read the Brisa and the Mishnah carefully. The Brisa doesn't say that the Tchum isn't Koilet. The Brisa says V'yoshav that he has to live in the city and not in the Tchum. In other words, he's not allowed to live in the Tchum. But if he is in the Tchum for whatever reason, so then it's Koilet. Amabai like Kasha can little can lodon. And so you're talking about the Mishnah is talking about being koilet, that it protects him. So even if he's in Tchum, he's protected. The Goel Adam's got no right to kill him. Kan Lador, but here we're talking, the Brisa over is talking about living, that he has to live in the Ir Mikvah. But if he happens to be in the Tchum and intentionally, or according to some even intentionally, according to some Rishonim, then he's protected. Fred Gemara Kasha Lodor. How can you say that the pasuk of Yashavah is talking only about living? That you have to live, that the Ritzach has to live in the city and not in the Tchum. Typically, that was learned from a different din. We don't need the Brisa to tell me that. There's another Brisa which says that Einois in Sada Migrash Le Migrash Sada Le Migrash Ever Le Eir Migrash. It was basically the city. There was a city, right? Eir. Then there was the Migrash. The Migrash is the open area. I think it's the first 1,000 amos of the 2,000 amos of the Tchum was divided into two. The first 1,000 amos out of the city was Migrash. It was an open space, make the city look beautiful. They had open space which wasn't used for anything. And the next 1,000 amos was Sodas. So we know the Bride says Einos in Soda Migrash Le Migrash Soda. You can't interchange. You can't make the area which is supposed to be for Soda into Migrash, open space. For Le Migrash Soda, you can't make the open space into field. Le Migrash Air, the open space can't be city. Le Air Migrash. So it's clear that you can't make Migrash Air, right? You can't live in that in Tchum. Why do you need a Yasha Bat Tami Baba Le B'Tchum? So the Gemara answer Moshe Le Nischa Ela Le Mechilas. Taka, no one's allowed to live in the Migrash or in the Tchum, even Levium. For sure, not the Ritzach. So what's the possible? Yashav Baba Tchum is Kamitali Mechilas. Mechilas means underneath the Tchum, in the caves underneath the ground. That's not considered Migrash. That's not considered Sada. There, Levi would be able to live. However, the Ritzach is not allowed to live. The Ritzach has to live Baba Tchum and not even in the Mechilas. And that's what's learned out of the possible Yashav Baba Tchum. The din of Einos and Sada Migrash is talking about above ground, and the Yashav Baba Tchum is telling me that even under the ground, he's not allowed to live underneath the Tchum, only in the city itself.
Underneath the city.
Oh, so some taka bring a raya that underneath the city is clear that it's fine. It's considered part of the city. In fact, the Yashav Baba Tchum tells me that not in the Bechilas of the Tchum is evident that in the city Kotak live in the Bechilas is no problem. Okay, so now the Gemara continues with the Mishnah which says what does the Mishnah say?
Why would you think that it's better?
Mechilos?
Yeah. So you're allowed to be.
The Levi's taka allowed to live in the Mechilas.
You're allowed to be dar in the Tchuma?
Who are you talking about now? There's a din of a Levi and a din of a Ritzach. The Ritzach has to live Bav Tchuma only in the city, not in the Tchum. When we say not in the Tchum, we mean not above ground, not underneath the ground. There's another din of Einos and Sada Migrash, Le Migrash Sada, Le Migrash Le Migrash, which tells me even the Levi is not allowed to live, but that wouldn't apply to the Mechilas. For some reason, the Ritzach is not even allowed to live in the Mechilas underneath the ground where it's not disturbing the Migrash, it's not disturbing the Sada, it's not disturbing the things which need to be outside. So the Mishnah says 2 days of a Ritzach Sheyatz Chutz L'Tumim, 2 Machlekes Tanoim. Yeah, Rabbi Yosef Glili says that the Goel Adam is a mitzvah to kill him. Rabbi Kiva says that it's a reshus, and it's taken to says the Chol Adam Chayavin Olav or the Chol Adam Ein Chayavin Olav. Many Rishonim taka say Ein Chayavin Olav. But other people, so we had that discussion already in the Mishnah. So let's for the moment just assume it's Ein Chayavin Olav. Not allowed. A regular person, according to Kiva, is not allowed to kill, but he's not chayav misa. It's not really negate to the Hamshah Gemara, but he keeps it simple to say ein chayav. As we'll soon see why I'm choosing ein chayav. Okay, so Tana Rabbanan, we have a brisa which says basically the same thing as a Mishnah with a little knach extra. Let's see, Tana Rabbanan b'rotza goel adam tzritzech. The pasuk says, right, the brisa didn't say the psukim. Right? The Mishnah didn't explain the Makkos for Rabbi Yosef Glili Rabbi Kiva. Yeah? Rabbi Yosef Glili says it's a mitzvah to the Goel Adam to kill. Rabbi Kiva says it's reshus. We didn't say the psukim. The Brisa explains the reasoning, the mocker of the shit of Rabbi Yosef Glili Rabbi Kiva. Tana Rabbanan v'rotza Goel Adam tzritzech. The Goel Adam V'rotzach shall kill the Ritzach, mitzvah b'yad goyel adam. So the Tanakh basically learns it from the lashon of Rotzach goyel adam. She says, telling you that the goyel adam should kill. So mitzvah b'yad goyel adam, ein goyel adam. If there's no goyel adam, or ein loy goyel adam, as Rabbi Sabach said. So then rishus b'yad kol adam. Then rishus b'yad kol adam. Rabbi Yisroel. Some Rishonim talk about this. This is extra knatrus, isn't in the Mishnah, huh?
Just before the sentence.
No, talking about shiatzach. All the discussion Rabbi Yisroel Rabbi Kiva is after. People discuss how this fits in with the Rebbeinu earlier. Maybe we'll talk about it soon if we have time. But yeah, this is Dafka talking about when he was in the air mikvah and goes out, but he shouldn't have. So Baratza Goyel Adam Yitzayah, Pasuk says, look in the Pasuk, what's the Pasuk Taka talking about? The Pasuk before is talking about when he leaves the Gvul air mikvah. Yom says Goyel Adam, Baratza Goyel Adam. Pasuk is clearly talking about the Yotza when he goes out. Not talking about the Goyel Adam stam killing him on his way. So Baratza Goyel Adam say mitzvah b'yad goyel adam, ein goyel adam rishus b'yad kol adam. Didn't be slightly different from the Mishnah because the Mishnah doesn't say that the rishus b'yad kol adam is only when ein loy goyel adam. That's discussed as well. Pashtus is not a stira. The Bryce is just saying that there's a mitzvah b'yad goyel adam, and if there's no goyel adam, so then in other words, if there is a goyel adam, the other people have to really allow the goyel adam to kill, not do it themselves. Either way, there's rishus b'yad kol adam. Didn't be Rabbi Kiva Omer, Rishus b'yad goyel adam, v'chol adam ein chayav in Allah. That Rabbi Kiva says that there's a Rishus b'yad goyel adam, and all other people are not allowed to, but they're also ein chayav in Allah. We'll do the Gersa. So my time in the basic, what's the reason Rabbi Yisroel how from the words of Rotzach goyel adam we see this a mitzvah miksev im Rotzach. If he kills ein loy dam, it says v'Rotzach goyel adam. Right? It says v'Rotzach goyel adam es ritzech ein loy dam. If you just wanted to tell me the din, thank you. If you just wanted to tell me the din of ein loy dam, he's not chayav, but he's allowed to kill him, then you would just say, im rotzach ein loydam. The rotzach sounds like this is what he's supposed to do. It's a mitzvah. That is how Rabbi Yisroel really learns the pasuk. You see Rashi, we'll see Taka, the Be'emes, the lashon of the rotzach can go either way. Rotzach can mean mitzvah or rishus. In different places in the Torah it means different things. So Rabbi Yisroel says, we go back to the right time when it says v'rotzach as our lashon, and it means a mitzvah. This is what he should do. Right, Rabbi Kiva Omer. Sorry, my time is the mix of im rotzach. Let's say im rotzach. Rabbi Kiva makes it yirtzach that he shall kill. It says v'rotzach, and v'rotzach can also mean that he rishus. So Rishonim explain. I think the Ritva, maybe Rashi. Yeah, the Ritva explains that basically sometimes can go both ways. So Rabbi Kiva holds if you want to give a mitzvah to the goyel adam to kill, you better make it 100% clear. You can't give me a lashon which is ambiguous, which can go either way. You're freeing, you're saying there's a mitzvah to kill somebody, so it has to say clearly. And if it doesn't say yirtzach, so then we left with the default of v'rotzach could also mean rishos. So basically, he says no. Most times v'rotzach this lashon means mitzvah, so here too it means a mitzvah. Amar mazut shebar toivya amar rav. Ritzeach sheyotzach chutz litpom u'mitzoi goyel adam v'hargoy nerego. Here we have another Amar Rav who seems to say something neither of the two to He says the Ritzeach who leaves the tchum and the goyel adam finds and nerego. The goyel adam is chayiv misa. Come on, like Rabbi Kiva, right? The Mishnah and the Bryce recorded the opinions of Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Yisroel says a mitzvah to the goyel adam to kill. Rabbi Kiva says the goyel adam is allowed to kill. And here you have a shitta that not only is the goyel adam not allowed to kill, it's chayiv misa. It's not like Rabbi Yisroel and not Rabbi Kiva, which is a problem. We never want an Amora to go the loy command, not like any Tana. So the Gemara answers Taki, right? Meaning it's Taki not like Rabbi Yisroel or Rabbi Kiva, but he has another Tana. There's a third Tana who holds that Taki the goyel adam has no right to kill, and he's even chayiv misa for killing the ritzech after he leaves the ermika, which is obviously poses the obvious question. The pasuk says otherwise. The pasuk says ein loydam, right? Hannah can't argue with the Mishnah, so we're going to explain the behemsha. So upon him, this is what the Amori said. Rav and Marzuch B'Tovim Rav says the ritzech the goyel adam kills him. The goyel adam is chayiv misa. It's not like anybody. And the Gemara who da'amik haytana the Tanya Rabbi Lezer oimer. The Brayz says Rabbi Lezer says. The Tanya Rabbi Lezer said. The pasuk says at amdoi. Ad amdei lifnei ha'eda l'mishpa. Pasuk says, looking at the guys, the Ritzeach shouldn't die, shouldn't get killed until he goes lifnei ha'eda l'mishpa. According to Rabbi, this pasuk teaches me the following. What's the time? The pasuk says the goyel adam can kill the Ritzeach. I might have thought straight away. According to Rabbi, the only hatah for a goyel adam to kill the Ritzeach is after Bezdin paskind that he's allowed to be killed. In other words, he has to run out of the Ir Miklat, And then he goes to Bezdin, and Bezdin Paskin of the Goyal Adam has the right to kill him. In other words, Bezdin has to give the sanction, the Goyal Adam has to give a shus to the Goyal Adam to kill the Ritzech, and otherwise he can't kill the Ritzech. That's pshat. Yeah, and so the Goyal Adam can only kill after
the Gemara din?
Huh? It's not to the Gemara din. There's a Gemara din earlier. He goes to the Ir Mikkel, then he leaves the Ir Mikkel. So there's a psak din that the oynish for leaving the Ir Mikkel is that the Goyal Adam can kill him, but the Goyal Adam's not allowed to kill him until Bezdin Paskin now. This is a unique shitta of Rabbi Lezer, huh?
Before he killed him.
He's chayv. Before taking to Bezdin, he's chayv mis. Yeah. Freddy Gemara Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Kiva Hay Adam the Eid on the mission like the Arshabe. What tak they do this pasuk? The Gemara Taka says they use this for an entirely different topic. Homi Beile Tanya not to do with the Harig B'Shaygin. Rather that which we learned in the Brayz. Rabbi Kiva Ayman Minayin is and Hedin Shroch Echa Shargis and Echa Shein Misnei Achiyam Vesin Achet Tamalim Adam the Eid on the mission Achiyam Vesin Achet. This is a special din that a Sanhedrin who saw somebody kill somebody, all 23 Dayanim could see somebody kill somebody, they're not allowed to give him misa. So yeah, even though they're all 23, they saw him, they're not allowed to give him misa until Achiyam Vesin Achet because of this pasuk at the Mishma, meaning that there has to be a din Torah. It's not good enough for the Dayanim themselves to see Achiyam Vesin Achet. Let's see Rashi. I just want to point out how this taka fit. There's a discussion about it. We shouldn't. Earlier on in Daf Yudam Beis we had Amar Rabbanan Ritzeh Shagol Le'ir Mikla Mitzay Gol Adam Hargoy Pator, and there's Machlekes Tanaim over there. Yeah. So Rabbanan goes like a Tanu who says Pator. Why didn't we say it connects to Machlekes B'Yosef Rabbi Kiva? So there's a discussion about it, and the Ritva wants to be Mechalek. Not everyone agrees. Some people say that the Rabbanan over there says Pator must hold like either Rabbi Yosef or Rabbi Kiva and not like Rabbi Lezer, because Rabbi Lezer says the Goyal Adam will be chayav. The Ritva wants to be chayav, says it's a totally different discussion. Rabbi is talking about when he's on his way to Galus, and here we're talking about when he left Galus, and Yesh L'Chalei, both ways he wants to say. Meaning to say that there's a svara to say that even if over here you potter, there you should be chayav. Why over here? Because the Ir Mikla, once it's koilet, and if you go out, you're not chayav misa and add amdi l'fnei the limit of Rabbi Lezer, and the idach, we can say the other way around as well. Yeah, we can say the other way around as well. That even the other way around means that even Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Kiva would say potter over here. Even Rabbi Lezer would say chayav over here. Would say potter over there. Chayav over here because you left there. Even if I'm getting confused now. let's try this one more time. What's since I started, I'm going to finish. Yeah, Rabbi Huna said, start again. Rabbi Huna over there said that Ritzeh Shagol Le'ir Mikla the Goyal Adam is potter, right? There it's talking about on the way to the Ir Mikla. On the way to the Ir Mikla is potter. So some say that the Goyal Adam is potter. So the Ritva wants to say that it's not connected to this Machlekes Tanam over here, because in two ways. Meaning, even if over here, when the Goyal Adam leaves the Ir Mikla, we'll say you potter. We'll say the Goyal Adam is potter. The reason why the Goyal Adam is potter is because he was over. The Ritzech was over. He left the city when he shouldn't, and now he's on his way. So maybe there the Goyal Adam taka will be chayav. On the other hand, even if over here we say the Goyal Adam is chayav, that's because the Ir Mikla was already koilet, and Adam did the mishum mashenkin over there. He hasn't yet got to the Ir Mikla, so maybe the Goyal will be the other way. Okay, that's what the Ritva is. Let's see Rashi. Rashi. Starting from Loy Nitnu Likvura. I think we missed out a Gemara. Yeah, we missed out a Gemara. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let's get to a few lines. After Vahu Malachu, there's Amr Vavo. We're going to go back now. Amr Vavo, Ari, you with me? Yeah, Ari Mikla Loy Nitnu Likvura. Ravo says Ari Mikla Loy Nitnu Likvura. Ari Mikla, you don't bury people there. In other words, you don't bury Levium. People who live in the Ir Mikla, you don't bury them. The pasuk means for all their living needs, but not for kvur. We don't bury Levium in these Ari Mikla. So Gemara asks the Kash from our Mishnah. Our Mishnah says that Yitaka does get buried there, because from the pasuk Shanos Shama, that the Ritzech is buried there. And the way the Ritva explains is that if the Ritzech is buried there, Kavachoyim, the Levium who live there can be buried there. So the answer is no. That's your assumption is wrong. Ritzech Shani the Goli Barachmana. Ritzech is different. The Goli Barachmana is a special pasuk. Sham Temisasa. That's his oynish to be there. Others add that when the Klein Gadol dies, it's only temporary, so he's going to go out anyway. So you can't compare Ritzech to the Levium, the bride. So it's the Revavo says Ori Mikla first time at the Levium being buried there. Ritzech Shani the Goli Barachmana. Okay, that's Rashi on this Gemara and on the later Gemara. Rashi says, "Loinin l'kur l'leviim shehein shalahem." Typically, the ein boinin buys the migrash dem can have the migrash air. Einois in sada shel leviim migrash. And nas leviim apayim amma. The migrash is a 2,000 amas which we gave the leviim. Saviv ha'eked the silma dois michutz la'air. Sim mikira eva chutz alef amma. There's a steer. Right? One pasuk says that you measure chutz la'air 2,000 amas. Another pasuk says 1,000 amas. So how does it work? Okay, so the Gemara says someplace else. Alef al amma migrash ein bolei buys v'loi sada v'ashar sada kam. There's two levels in the tchum. The 2,000 is divided into two 1,000s. The first 1,000 am is migrash, open space where you don't have neither houses nor fields, and the outer 1,000 amas is where you have shadas ukram. The mechila is tachas akarkasha ain't oikles the migrash come al. They're not taking away anything from the open space al nail. Be lab the ksib babel bitchuma, not for the pass of babel bitchuma. You say I'm yadu bitchuma b'ma'ir. The rotzach ichil first lashon tzivu k'may ba'as b'salval. Says Rashi, the word rotzach, which the pasuk says, you could explain it two ways. You could explain a lashon tzivu k'may ba'as b'salval. The other ichil first lashon shos k'may ba'as Hashem. Since it can go both ways, Rabbi Yisroel says it's a mitzvah. I think the way some Rishonim explain the Roiv times when he says such a lashon, and it means that he will and he should, not just a rishus. And Rabbi Kiva says, look, since we're giving the Goyal Adam a mitzvah to kill somebody, you're not going to go bust a Roiv. We're going to say that unless the pasuk explicitly says yirtzach, then it just means rishus. Okay, right in the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon im yotze yotze ritzech. Yeah, the pasuk says if the ritzech leaves, then the Goyal Adam has a right to kill the. Market the isle, market the isle. One holds it's a mitzvah, one holds it's a it's rishus. Either way is allowed. I only know b'mezit. Or in other words, svara the ritzech goes b'mezit. He deserves to be killed. But shoygim minayin if the ritzech grows out of the ir mikla, goes out of the tchum without realizing he's going out of the tchum, or he thinks that it's mutter for him to go out of the tchum. Minayin. How do we know that the ritzech can still be killed by the Goyal Adam? Tamalim yotze yetze. Yeah, it's a double lashon. Yotze. If I only said it once, I would say mezid. But since it says a double lashon, yotze yetze includes shoygeh. Mikama. Read the Gemara Kasha Vatanya, and we're not curious about Harigay. Doesn't make sense with the Harigay. Pashtas. Vatanya b'mezid nereg b'shoygeh. We have another brayso which says that if the ritzech leaves the ir mikla b'mezid, then he gets killed by the Goyal Adam. B'shoygeh, or he can get killed by the Goyal Adam. B'shoygeh, but if he leaves the ir mikla b'shoygeh goyla, he gets re-exiled. Which is soisa this first brayso. The first brayso we said that the Goyal Adam has the right to kill the ritzech whether he leaves the mezid or whether he leaves b'shoygeh. So it's a stira. So Gemara answers tak is a stira, but there's two. So machlokes tanoim loikasha hakamad dama mina dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam hakamad dama lo mina dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam. Multiple places in Shas, the Gemara has machlokes tanoim about various different things, but the dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam. In other words, where the Torah uses the language that regular people use, and evidently in those days or whatever, it was a regular way of talking to say a double lashon. It's just a way of saying if he leaves, you say like if he dares to leave, if he's like a double lashon, and therefore it's not married anything. It's just the normal way of talking. And if you hold dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam, then yotze yetzer ritzech just means if the ritzech leaves, then all I know is mezid. I don't know shoygeh. Now shoygeh, if you say lo dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam, so then it's an extra yitur. The extra yotze is an extra yitur to tell me that not only mezid but also shoygeh. That's what we have over machlokes to know whether the ritzech who leaves the ir mikla b'shoygeh is goyla or whether the Goyal Adam has a right to kill him or not. So Abai says like this: in this case, and this is how the Rishonim explain. In this case, it's mistabel command on dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam, meaning that Abai holds, and Tosfos in numerous places in Shas Taka says that the dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam is really it's not a machlok, it's local. In other words, whenever we say dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam only when it makes sense to say so, when the svara fits in, right? But if it doesn't. You're not going to be doirish something extra just because it says a double lashon if it doesn't make sense. If it makes sense, we'll say dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam. So it says Abai in this case, mistabel command on dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam. It makes sense to apply the principle of dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam in this case because we only apply dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam when it makes sense, and here it makes sense. Why? It doesn't make sense. If someone kills b'mezid, it's chayav misa. If he kills b'shoygeh, he's goyla. Here you're going to tell me someone who kills b'shoygeh is goyla. But if he leaves the ir miklat b'shoygeh, then the Goyal Adam has the right to kill him. So lo yesoifai chama mitchilasai. I have a question which is in my mind right now as I say this, which maybe I'll mention soon. But for the moment, let's just there's a kavachoyma. Hariga is more chamor than leaving the ir miklat. For hariga b'shoygeh, the einish is galus and not misa. So kavachoyma for leaving the ir miklat b'shoygeh, it should only be and chayav misa b'mezid, mat chilasa b'mezid ner b'shoygeh goyla af soifai b'mezid ner b'shoygeh goyla. Therefore, Abai says mistabel dibur Torah kalashim ne'adam. There's no extra yitur, and only if the ritzech leaves b'mezid is he chayav galus but not b'shoigig. And I see over here that that's taked halacha, just because of the tzion. The Rambam paskins, halacha yudal, perikei halacha yudalef, that b'shoigig, you just go back to Gaul. So the Goel Adam doesn't have the right to kill the person. Because Abai said, so that's why we paskin now. Okay. Now we have another discussion.
What was your shower?
I'm not sure if I fully developed it yet, but the person who kills the mezid, the shoigeg, also is chayav misa b'yad Goel Adam. If he doesn't make it to Gaulus, if he's not in Gaulus, right? At least according to Rav Huna earlier, who said that the Goel Adam is part of killing. Right. Yeah? I don't know what exactly the Kavachayim is. Okay. Right. So now we have another discussion, which what happens if Av Shaharek Benoy, father kills a son, the Shoigeg. So who's the Goel Adam? The Goel Adam is the brother. So the question is, can the son or the brother of the Nerag, but the son of the Hoyreg, the son of the Ritzeh, become a Goel Adam? What's the problem in being a Goel Adam? Because it's not Kibbud Avayim. It's like to go kill your father. More than that, we know that Makkos, right? There's a special, even if you're allowed, besides for the regular Isser of killing people, you're not allowed to kill your father, you're not allowed to wound your father because it's Makkah of the Yisroel. So we have a discussion of a steer in Bryce as whether Ben can become a Goel Adam for the father. Father kills his son, can the brother of the Nerag become a Goel Adam? So let's see. Tani Chad that we learn in one Bryce of Sharik B'nai Nasal Goel Adam. Father who kills the son becomes a Goel Adam. The brother becomes a Goel Adam. This is how the Gemara understands at this stage. The Tanya Idach, another Bryce says, Ein B'nai Nasal Goel Adam, that the son doesn't become a Goel Adam. The Gemara this stage wants to suggest Lei Maharib Yisrael Gili V'Harib Akiva. The Gemara understands at this stage that if it's a mitzvah for the Goel Adam to kill the father, that if it's a mitzvah for the Goel Adam to kill the Ritzeach, in this case the Goel Adam is the son, is a mitzvah for the son to kill the father, that mitzvah can override the Kibbud Avayim and the Issa Makkah Avavim and Maisyumas. But if it's only Rishon, so who asked him to kill? Right? It's only Rishon, so that can't override the Issa. That's what the Gemara understands. In other words, the Bryce, which says the B'nai Nasal Goel Adam goes according to the No. At this stage, the Gemara understands it's the B'nai, it's the brother, another son. Another son. We have a stira. The first Bryce says B'nai Nasal Goel Adam. You have to read Av Sharik B'nai Nasal Goel Adam. It's almost if you read.
Since when does a brother become a Goel Adam?
Yeah. Who becomes Goel Adam? Let's talk the discussion in Shine. Who becomes Goel Adam? So some say just the closest relative, the closest Yoresh. Closest relative. Oh, you thought it's only the son? No, evidently not. There is a Makkos showing exactly who becomes the Goel Adam. Makkos Klein, I can't remember exactly. But everyone agrees it's either the closest. Some say it's to do with Yerusha, and some say it's to do with Kiruvim. I don't remember the exact name now. But either way, from this Gemara, it's clear that the brother becomes a Goel Adam. Yeah.
If it's Yerusha, then doesn't have Yerusha, then it goes higher.
Some say that, yeah. Upon him here, the Gemara, it's clear, yeah. The Gemara is not going to say a brother, right? That's clear. Brother does become a Goel Adam. So the question is, so the Gemara understood like this: if it's Rishus b'yad Goel Adam, so you're allowed to, but you're only allowed to be matter the Chiyav Misa of killing somebody, but the Makkah of the Imoy, Kibbud Avayim, you're not going to get around. But the Mandam says mitzvah b'yad Goel Adam, so the mitzvah overrides. So the Gemara Taka says that's not true. You can't say such a thing. Tizbra, can you really say this? That the man who says a Nasla Goel Adam, the brother becomes a Goel Adam that can kill his father, is going according to Rabbi Galili, who says mitzvah, and the other man who says Ein B'nai is going to Rabbi Kiva. Tizbra, Bein man and this Bein man is just mishari. Is it really true? You came with such an assumption, but the truth is, there's a general rule like the son can never become a shliach to cause harm to the father. He can't become a shliach bezdin to give him malchus. He can't put him in chayrim. Chutz mi meses. The only exception is when a father was mesis a son to avodah zara. So then shayam materially sakma v'lo yiskasal. Then it's a din that the musa that you don't have any rachmanas whatsoever, and the son's allowed to kill the father. But any other case, from the fact that the Torah only by mesis says that lo yisachma v'lo yiskasal, and there it's talking about a father and a son. Ki sischa vinchol and linchol. The whole lashon over there is dealing with family. So the fact that only by mesis says lo yisachma v'lo yiskasal, we learn that anywhere else the ben is not nas shef lav. And therefore, even if it's a mitzvah b'yad Goel Adam, it seems clear that the Makkah Aviv and the Kibbud Avayim overrides the mitzvah b'yad Goel Adam, and Taki is not allowed to become the Goel Adam. And if so, we've got a kasha. How can the first bride say Av Shari b'nei Nasal Goel Adam? And this is what you said. Like kasha, the Gemara Taki says not a kasha. Ha b'noi The first brisa, which says Av Shari B'nai Nas Le'Goy Adam, is referring to the grandson becoming the Goy Adam. So he's allowed to. But the son, Ein B'nai Nas Le'Goy Adam, means that the son can never become Goy Adam. The son can never kill his father just because he's a Goy Adam. Here we have an interesting Rashi. Oh, very good. Is the grandson not was a bit covered? So you have a Gili Nashas. Let's first see Rashi. Yeah, the entire discussion. Evidently, the Chorah Pshat is, I didn't look up the Mitzay, the Gili Nashas and the Mitzay, the Droshes Maranach. It's not a sefer which is on a bookshelf or easily accessible. But Harsh has told us, which obviously addresses this question. Let's see, Rashi Taka says, those people who say that grandfather, so Taka discussion where the grandson is mechuyev in the covered of the grandfather, and those who say no, bring a raya from this Gemara over here. Those who say yes, it's a medrash or basically, from the pasuk, which is pasuk in someone say for Bereshis, where it talks about, I can't remember now, the grandson. I can't remember the lashon now. Let's see Rashi first. The Mechilas we did, the Ratzach we did. Soifa cham v'tchlas, Soifa say tzechut v'tchum. Tchilas eretzich. Av shaharag is a ben. B'noi hasheni. That's how Rashi goes. Av shaharag period. B'noi hasheni, right? He kills his son. But that's it. B'noi hasheni nasi gol adam shalach av harag is av. His son, at this point, we understand, B'nai Hasheni can be a Goy Adam and he kills his father. Hadetani Nasa Rabbi Yisroel, you don't miss the Goy Adam. So Gemara challenges that and says, no, even if he holds a mitzvah, we've got a general klal, la kol eina ben nasa, la kol aveish rabter eina ben nasa shtiach bezin al avid. Son doesn't become a shtiach to take care of his father's aveirs. Loila koisei, veloila nadoisei. Near the veloila kaloisei is just another word for nidoy. Chutz mi mesis. Hachi garsina, loikasha ha bivnoi, ha beven benoi. It doesn't mean ain't benoy his son, rather it's of shaharag. I don't know how you read it. Of shaharag, benoy naslig, a father who killed his son, benoy his son naslig. Hadtan ain't benoy naslig adam, benoy shritzeka. Still with the benoy shritzek. But hadtan benoy naslig adam, benoy shal harukam shub benoy shritzek. The eine muzal tevoidai. The eine muzal tevoidai. Given the shas taka is mitzayin to drashas and anak. Parashas tells us because Kiva Egg is bothered by the kasha. The chora we know. I think the Ramah paskins, yeah. That a grandson is mechuyev in kibbud al ba'im. Pasuk by Yizbach. I can't remember. There's a pasuk which we didn't know. The Chorah Pshat is, I don't know. I think if it's from memory. In other words, to such an extent. So yeah, there is a covered purta or whatever. It's obviously not the same as the father with all the dinim, and therefore, for this Inyan,
you go into all the extensions, the older brother, and put everything in the.
Oh, like that.
What's it called? The rest?
That's Rabbi Tzachik HaGadol. Let's take a discussion with Tzachik HaGadol as well, if it's the rice or not. But either way, I think that's also pshat, that it's not the rice, so even if the grandson is like a smash, which we don't have the psukim, I don't know. But it can easily be a machala between the son and the grandson. The Maisa is brought down in the Ramah that his grandson has to father-in-law as well, I believe.
Covered with father. Same category as the brother.
Somewhere in the pasuk in Nevi'im it refers to a father-in-law. You call him a father because of that. Before the Yisroel the Rabbanon, which that's the poor problem. Okay, stop over here.